This is how I got over the hardest breakup of my life.
I am not the same one. I am not the same one. I am not.
All right, so boom. Early 2021, Lord tells me, son, your wife is coming soon. Now, I'm feeling all these emotions, right? I'm feeling this excitement. I'm feeling this nervousness, excitement because finally, I'm getting the woman that I've always wanted. Nervousness because it's like, man, am I really ready for it? So I'm going back and forth having these emotions, but the Lord tells me, don't worry about it. But I think to myself, I'm not talking to any women right now, except for this one young lady. But at the time, it wasn't really anything serious, just being friendly. So time goes on, we get to know each other a little better, and I start to see that I actually like this young lady, and I see that she actually likes me. So I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, you said that my wife was coming soon. Is this the one? You know what I heard? No. Now, I know what you're thinking. The story should have ended right there. You should have just cut it off right there. You shouldn't have moved forward at all right there. Easy, okay. I heard no, but I was thinking it was myself saying it. You know, because sometimes you try to come up with these ideas. You try to come up with what God is actually saying to you on your own. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is probably just me saying no, but it also could be me saying yes. I'm very confused, and I did not take the proper time to really seek the Lord about it. I just kept going. So we're getting to know each other a little more. She lives in a different state, a state that's not close to me. And so I say, okay, well, I'm thinking about going to see her. I was driving home one day, and I felt like I heard the Lord. This is, again, I felt like I heard the Lord say, son, why are you stressing? This is what you wanted. You should pursue it. I thought that's what I was hearing. I felt that that's what I was hearing. It's so easy when you're so emotionally involved into something, especially when it comes to dating, for you to not really be able to hear the Lord clearly. For the devil to come in and say, do what you want to do. It's easy to lean into your emotions with things like this. And this is what I did. Now, I go down there, I go see her, and I think that everything is hunky dory, and I think that she's the one. I'm so certain in my heart and my mind that she is the one. And so I'm coming back home. I'm posting videos on TikTok. I'm telling everybody I found my one, and this is the one that God has had for me. And you know, I asked my pastor about it. I talked to family about it. I let them know, hey, this is it. Y'all can't tell me nothing different. This is who God wants me to be with, and I'm certain of it. I am 100,000% certain of it. Understand, if I was not certain of it, if I didn't really think that this was God, I would not have kept going. But I really thought, I was really convinced that it was God. So time goes on. We're enjoying each other's company, and I'm thinking this is it. And now my job is to try to figure out how to start a life, how to, be able to provide for this woman that I think is going to be the one for me. And so I'm working on that and trying to do my music and TikTok and podcasts and all these things that I do. And it gets to the end of the summer. It gets to about August, right? Lord tells me, son, you should do a concert. By the way, I am a Christian rapper. You have more than enough songs. You should do a concert. I plan to do this concert. I want her to come to the concert too. So I do what I wanted to do, and I flew her out, and she came up here, and we went to church, and the Lord told me in that service, son, this is not it. This is not the one for you. Now, I was distraught. Again, I was fully convinced that this is who God had for me. I was so certain that this person was the one that God had for me. Hear me. I was so sure. I was so sure. And for God to say that, to me, it broke me. It broke my mind. It broke my spirit. It broke my heart. Now, I'm getting this through a prophetic word from this prophet. I'm so angry, so heartbroken at the words that are being spoken over me that I walk out of the church in the middle of the person prophesying. I walk out of the church. I don't want to hear nothing else. I don't want to see nobody else. I walk out of the church, leaving her in there. Leaving her in there. Because all that I'm thinking about is my emotions. All I'm thinking about is how I feel. I so selfishly indulge in my own emotions. And I walk, and I'm walking on the side of the road. Didn't even get in the car, just walking and walking and walking. And I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just walking. And my father comes and he runs out and he hugs me. And, my mom comes and she chases me down. And, I'm broken. Broken. But I tell myself, I should pray on this. This person could be wrong. This prophet could be off. I think to myself, and this is the right thing to do, saints. No matter what word somebody may speaks over you, no matter what a prophet or a pastor or a friend, whatever they say, you should pray on it. You should pray on it and be sure that what they're saying is of the Lord. And so I said, you know what? I'm not even going to receive what they said. I'm going to seek God for myself. And that's what I told her. I was like, we're going to seek God for ourselves. Forget what they talk about. It's me and you. Forget what everybody else is saying. The doubters, the people that think they know, that think that they can hear from God. Listen, I can hear from God. And I know what I felt. So I'm going to seek the Lord about it. And I sought. I sought the Lord. I sought him. I sought him. I still did the concert with her being a part of it. Broken on that stage, still doing it. And I sought the Lord. I sought him. And the Lord said, this is not it. And now I'm angry. I'm frustrated. Why didn't you say anything before? Why did you let me get this far, get this deep into it, and not say something? He said, son, I tried. But you were too caught up in your own pride, in your own emotions, to hear anything that I was saying. My pastor told me that the Lord told him, don't even try to speak to him, because he's not going to listen. He's already worked up in his mind what he's going to say. Don't bother. And I was... That part right there is the part that really broke me. The breakup is hard. The shame of being so sure. Yeah, that's hard. That sucks. But being at a point where I'm so caught up in my pride that God can't even speak to me, that he won't even speak to me, I lost it. I went to a dark place. Because in my mind, I'm saying, if I can't hear from God about this, what else have I been wrong about? What else over this last year have I missed you on? What else have I just gotten so caught up in my pride about? What else have you not shared with me? You know what? I don't want it anymore. I don't want to be whatever it is you called me to be. I don't want to do the music anymore. I don't want to play the piano anymore. I don't want to preach anymore. I don't want to do the TikToks anymore. I don't want to do the videos anymore. I don't want to do music anymore. I don't want anything to do with you. Because I'm broken. Because I can't trust myself with you, Lord. Who's to say I won't make this mistake again? And so I walked away. And the devil surrounded me. He clouded my mind with all these evil thoughts, with all these wrong thoughts. And I fell into sins that I shouldn't have. I fell into sexual sin. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't doing anything. I was in a dark place. A place where it was emptiness. It was hopelessness. There was nothing. There was nothing. I woke up feeling nothing. Nothing. My parents telling me, son, you're not the same. The church telling me, son, you're not the same. My friends telling me, Gabe, what happened? What are you doing? Where are you going? I'm in a dark place. A dark place. It's no shame to the young lady. She was a wonderful young lady. She was a wonderful person. She's a wonderful young lady. She was beautiful, she was kind, she was lovely. No shame towards her. In fact, I felt so bad about it. I felt bad that I wasted her time. I felt bad that I put her through this, that she had to go through this because I was the one that was leading her. Oh, and I'm supposed to be the man of God. Well, I won't be this man of God anymore. If I make mistakes in the world, it's on me. But if I make mistakes here in the kingdom, if I make mistakes here with you, God, everybody else feels it. There's blood on my hands. So I don't want it anymore. And so again, I'm in this dark place, and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't care. I don't care anymore. But the Lord was so faithful. I'm in this dark place, mind you. I'm not going to church. I'm not doing any of these things. But the Lord, He's still there. I still feel His presence. I still feel His hand. I still hear His voice calling me. Gabriel. I'm sleeping and I hear Him and I hear His voice. Gabriel. Son, I miss you. I miss your worship. I miss you. Come back. Come back. Gabriel. You see, it doesn't matter how dark of a place you get into. It doesn't matter how low you get. God will not leave you. He will not forsake you. And He did not forsake me. Even in this place that I'm in, I don't want it. I don't want to hear you, Lord. I don't want to hear you. Gabriel, come back. Come back. It was as if I'm in this dark place, and I know I'm in this dark place. This is what it felt like. It felt like there's darkness all around me, but the street lights are on. And it didn't matter where I was. It didn't matter what I was doing, what sin I had fallen into. I knew in my spirit, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I felt shame. I felt distress. I felt heartbrokenness. I felt pain. I was crying. I was angry. I'm punching walls. I'm in a dark place. But I know I can come back home. I gotta go back home. Yeah, I know I'm angry. Yeah, I'm angry. I gotta go back home. Yes, I'm sad. I'm so sad. I'm heartbroken. But I gotta go back home. Yes, this lust is enticing and the sexual desires are so strong. But I gotta go back home. It didn't matter what the devil was throwing at me. It didn't matter how hard he was trying to pull me down and keep me in this dark place. I gotta go home. It didn't matter how bad I wanted to be with that woman. I wanted to be with her so bad that I was willing to forsake all the things that God had given me. I remember we had the last time that we saw each other, I was taking her to the airport, and I hug her. We say our goodbyes. Text me when you land, call me when you land. This, that, and the other. And as she's walking into the airport, and I'm looking at her, I say, Lord, I'm never gonna see that woman again in my. He said, no, you won't. I was willing to throw away everything, my calling, the music, the ministry. I was willing to throw it all away. I was willing to walk into that airport, jump on the plane, and follow her and forsake everything. That's how bad it was, okay? That's how bad it was. I was legitimately soul tied to this woman. I was willing to give up everything. But I gotta go home. The prodigal son was in the pig's pen, longing for pig food. But the Bible says there came a moment where he came to himself and said, in my father's house, I gotta go home. I don't care how low you get. I don't care how dark you may think it is. I don't care how bad you think it is. I don't care how horrible it is. I don't care what pain you've endured, whatever you're going through. I don't care. You gotta go home. You have a home to go to. And so, November comes, November of 2021, and we're having a revival. We have a pastor from Florida who comes up, and we're having a 3-day, it's supposed to be a 3-day revival. It turned into a week-long revival, and the spirit is really high. And again, I had stopped playing the piano because I was in this dark place, but I knew that I had to come home, so I started to, make little adjustments to try to get myself out of the hole. And so I asked them if I could come back and play, and they agreed. And so I'm on the piano, and I'm playing, and I'm playing, and I'm playing. I'm playing. Glory. There was a service before that where, I know I'm a little out of order, but there was a service before that where my best friend was preaching, and again, I'm still in this dark place, and I had stopped playing the piano, and she had gave a word and said, the Lord wants you back up here on this piano. And she told me to go back up there and play, and I got up there, and I was playing, and I really love playing the piano. I really love playing worship because it does something for me. It's so intimate between me and God. And so fast forward to the revival, I'm back up and I'm playing, and we're having a good old praise break, a good old shout. Everybody's shouting and praising, and I'm playing, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not getting spiritually involved. I'm not locked in spiritually. I'm not tapping in. I'm just there. But then a moment came. We stopped. The praise break had ended. I'm playing lightly worship music, and a moment came, and the Spirit hit me so hard. I got up from that piano, and I'm jumping, and I'm running, and I'm shouting with my hands lifted, and I'm praising, and I run to the back of the church and run up to the front. Mind you, if you remember earlier, I said when I was getting that prophecy about the girl not being the one for me, I walked out of the church. But in this moment, I got up from that piano, and I'm praising, and I'm jumping, and I run to the back of the church. But instead of walking out the door, I run back up to the front, and I fall face first on the ground, on the pulpit, face in the carpet, speaking in tongues, worshiping, praising, saying, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I left. I'm sorry that I quit. I'm sorry I disobeyed you. I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry about my pride. I'm sorry about all these mistakes. Lord, I am sorry, and I repent. And I repented with every ounce of my being. I was sorry. I was so sorry. And I'm crying, I'm sobbing, I'm getting tears all on the carpet, all on the pulpit. I didn't care who was in the service. I didn't care about what they were preaching. I didn't care if everyone was looking at me or what. I didn't care. All that mattered to me in that moment was me and God. Lord, I am sorry. And God, being the good Father that He is, forgave me, healed me. In that moment, the darkness fell away. The clouds that were on my mind drifted away. The heaviness was gone. And I don't know if I've ever felt so free. And it was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. My entire life, of my walk with Christ. It was one of the beautiful moments because I finally understood. The prodigal son leaves his father's house, goes and lives frivolously, comes to himself and says, if I can just go back and live as a servant. But he goes back and his father runs to him with open arms and welcomes him home. God welcomed me home with open arms. But there was work to be done. After that, the Lord told me, son, I want you to go to Mexico. I said, hold on. I'm not ready for that, okay? I just got back home. I think I should do a little praying, a little fasting, get myself back up to where I need to be. I don't think I'm ready to just jump right in the mission field after, I was being gone, after me being gone for a couple months. Okay, I think we should ease ourselves into this. He said, nope, I've forgiven you. It's time to continue on. You're not starting over. You're continuing from where you left off. Let's go. And I said, well, I don't have any money, Lord. I can't go to Mexico with no money. He said, don't worry about all that. Surely enough, the Lord provided. I randomly got some Sky Miles and was able to fly, for free, basically, for free to Mexico. And the Lord used me mightily. But there were still things that I was dealing with, right? As I said, I was still soul tied to this woman. And there were still days where I missed her. There were still days where I wanted to talk to her, where I wanted to call her, I wanted to, I still wanted to be with her. I was still tied to her. And the Lord had to work me through that. And the thing I kept telling myself is, it will get better. Day by day. I took it day by day, And I leaned on the Lord. I leaned on Him. I had to. I had no choice. I leaned on the Lord. And yeah, there were nights that were hard. There were nights where I struggled. There were days where I struggled. But the Lord brought me out of that dark place. He got me through that breakup. Through time, with prayer, with spending time with Him, with continuing on in the work that He's called me to do. And I got back on TikTok. I got back at the ministry. I since then a lot of great things have happened. I've done a lot more traveling. The Lord has used me mightily. The music has done well. The ministry has done well. I got ordained. I've done more missionary work, and God has just been moving. So I just want to close this out by encouraging you. Some of you may be in a similar situation, or be dealing with something similar where you have to let go of somebody, or you just did, and you're dealing with the effects of not being with them. Just know that the Lord will help you through it. The Lord is able to get you through any soul tie. The Lord is able to get you through any breakup, any heartache. He's close to the brokenhearted. He's close to you in this moment. And if you lean on him, he will get you through. Listen, some of you may be in a situation where you know that you have to break up with someone, where you know that the person that you're with is not who God has called you to be with. And it may be hard, and it may be a struggle. And I understand the thoughts that may be going to your head where one day you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then you realize you don't want to be alone. But one thing I've learned in my life is the sooner you do it, the better. Because all you're doing is postponing the heartbreak. Now, when the Lord told me that she wasn't the one, we didn't break up right then and there. You know, we stayed together for a little bit, but ultimately, a few weeks later, I had to do what I had to do. And it was hard, and it hurt, and I cried. She cried. It was horrible. It was hard. It hurt. But it had to be done. The Lord will be with you, and he will get you through. Every day gets better. You may have some ups, you may have some downs. Every day gets better. Every day gets better. So you can do this. And maybe you're in a dark place right now. Maybe you're in a dark place and you don't know how you're going to get out. Come home. Come home. Come home. You know you got to go home. You know he's been calling you home. You've heard the calling. You've heard it in your dreams. You've heard it through other people. You've heard it through the word. You've seen, there's been little things that happen on TV where you're like, Lord, is that you? Yeah, it was him. He wants you to come home. You can come home. And he's going to welcome you with open arms. He's not going to shame you. He's not going to talk down to you. He's not going to talk bad about you. He's not going to tell you, hey, well, you should have listened to me. I don't know why you were being so dumb. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to receive you with open arms and welcome you and hug you and help you to get through the heartbreak, the heartache. So don't be afraid, saints. Do not fret. Do not be fearful. God is with you, and God can help you through any breakup, through any heartache, through any grief. God can help you. But yeah, that was how the Lord helped me through the hardest breakup of my life. And I actually did have another breakup that was a little hard, but I'll save that for another video. But follow, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. I thank all of you for the likes, the shares, the comments, and all that. And I will see you on the next video.
I am not the same one.